We are so talented. Say that.
We are so talented.
Now say, I am so talented.
I am so talented.
I'm loving it. Awesome. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, choir. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everybody, for stepping up. You know, the universe always asks us to step up out of our comfort zone. And how often do we say, no thanks? And the universe comes back around and around. And one day you'll say yes, and you'll really enjoy that expanded consciousness of contributing a piece of you to the world. All right, you ready? Okay, new awareness. All month we've been talking about actions. Actions, how we choose to express. So the first week we worked on self-discovery, remembering to follow the inner, remembering that our attitude creates the soil in which our seed grows, and then remembering that life is a process. I know you all deeply remember that service. Then the next week, Patrick talked about discipline, which is to commit actions to express a belief. And we all got to ponder what we're really committed to, what we really discipline ourselves to. And you know, we all discipline ourselves to something, whether we admit to it or not. So to be conscious of where we're investing our energies. Last week, Patrick did a service on the Father's Force. I loved it. It was wonderful. It's very challenging as ministers to do services for Mother's Day and Father's Day. And after 20 years doing services for Mother's Day and Father's Day, and I loved the insight that Spirit gave Patrick about the male energy and fathers and what they gift us with. It was extremely powerful. If you missed that, it's worth a look. It's on YouTube. It's worth a look because it was a wonderful healing meditation and a wonderful healing perception of the male energy. But it is that the male teaches us how to interact with the outer. During May, we talked all about being taught by God. During June, we've been talking all about expressing on earth what we are taught. And what we've come to understand that our actions in matter. Our actions matter. We create beautiful things. We muddle energy beautifully. We're so good at both. How we express matters to us, and it matters to the whole. So I wanted to start off today. Today we wanted to get a new awareness of self. And I just want to share my take on this. About a month ago, I was at the house. You know when you've just been working so hard and you just want to chill? You know, you just want to chill, you just don't want to think, you want to put your head on R&R. And so Patrick taught me this wonderful thing called surfing, the TV. So I sat down and I turned the TV on, and it's afternoon, I don't know what time, and I'm surfing, and I hit a beautiful program. I didn't know it existed. It's a program on one of those odd stations, and they happened to be interviewing 3 people who had near-death experiences. And I was, of course, enthralled. And I started watching them, and they would show the interviews, clip of the man, clip of a woman, clip of a man. They were all saying the same thing. And what all 3 of them said, and you know, I'm the last 15 minutes of the program, but what all 3 of them said at the point I caught was, as I left my body, I experienced my life flashing before me. I was shown pictures of occurrences, not memories. They felt like they were real, and I was re-experiencing them. And in them were the emotions of everything I had felt and everything I had missed. They got to feel the emotions of every person that they had dissed, or not honored, or harmed in any way. They got to feel the emotions that they were feeling, that had been almost locked in them. And so all of these emotions went before them. And we hear that, you know, near death, your life flashes before you. But each one of them said the same thing, and they became not only just a witness to, but a participant in that moment, looking at how they had acted with new eyes. They did not miss the harshness that they had given. They did not miss how someone had taken in what they had given. And then all of them said, after they went through this startling experience, the room filled with a beautiful light. And there was total love and total peace. And one man, as he told his story, you could tell that he had just been kind of a, I don't know, maybe a rough and tumble kind of guy, maybe harsh, because he said, I saw what I did, I didn't think it was bad. It's just how I was taught to act. That's how we do it. You know, that's my life. And I did not realize what I was doing. And as he was telling the story of the light appearing, you know, and I listened to him, and you could tell he just lived it as he called it, you know, just really didn't think much beyond the moment. And he said, and then I saw the light, and it filled the room. And then it filled me. And then I knew I was perfect. And my heart just opened. I just loved this man. You know, it was like everything he had ever said or done or experienced, he knew he was not that. He was perfect. And then they sent him back. And they sent all three of these, of course, went back. One of them apparently had been a plumber and now was a minister, because he wanted to share his experiences of what he perceived as God. But all three of them came back with an absolute different perception of life. The absolute perception that love matters. And I'm sure they didn't all become ministers, but I know they lived differently because they realized what does matter. Love matters. And love matters here. But I love the idea, I am perfect. How fabulous and expanding is that experience? I am perfect. You know, I wanted to share with you a parable that Jesus shared toward the end of his ministry. He was talking to the rich people. And this parable is used often to teach about humble hearts. But I wanted us to really listen to how it goes down. And I'll paraphrase it for you. There was a rich man who enjoyed every manner of wealth possible, and a beggar who sat at his gates named Lazarus. Do you remember the parable? Mm-hmm. And Lazarus waited every day for the rich man to give him a morsel of food, or to eat from what the dogs left over. And the story, the parable, Lazarus dies, and Lazarus is held in the bosom of Abraham. Now, they're Jews, so the ideal for them, heaven would represent Father Abraham holding them. You know, Father Abraham taking care of them. So, in the parable, Lazarus, the poor man, is taken up and held in Father Abraham's arms. The rich man dies, and the rich man goes to this place where it's not quite so comfortable. And the rich man looks up to Abraham and Lazarus and says, Father Abraham, it's me, rich dude. Hey, could you get Lazarus to bring me a drink of water? And Father Abraham says, you know, really I can't do that, because you lived your life on earth and now you're going to have to kind of deal with it. He lived his life on earth and now he had a generous open heart, loved all he could, so I've got him in my heart. And besides, there's this big gulf between us. And I can't cross that gulf even if I wanted to, because you have one level of vibration and Lazarus has another. And so do I, by the way. So I can't come and help you. So the rich man thinks about it. He goes, okay, all right, Father Abraham, I have 5 brothers on the earth plane, and they need to know what's going to happen when we cross. Could you just send Lazarus back to tell them? And Father Abraham says to him, well, you know, they've got books. They've got the story of Moses. They've got all kinds of books. They could read about it. And the rich man says, no, they're not going to believe anything they read. But if a man appears from the other side, appears from the dead, comes back from the dead, maybe they'll believe it. Maybe they'll believe that love is very important and you shouldn't be living without love and all this stuff. And that's where the parable ends. Maybe if someone comes back from the dead, they'll believe it. And you know, I often wonder how Jesus, we ponder the death, burial, resurrection, and ascension of the Christ of Jesus all year long. But do we miss the resurrection? Do we miss that someone actually came back from the dead to tell us, you're perfect? To tell us there's love on the other side. Do you know what I'm saying? We looked at him and we said, oh, he resurrected. Oh, he ascended. Oh, he must be Son of God. Oh, we are rotten. We miss the message. And so we actually had someone come back from the other side to tell us, and did we believe it? That we're perfect? Not really. And now we have all these people in our world who come back with near-death experiences. And they tell us, oh gosh, on the other side, I didn't even make it that far. And it was fabulous and beautiful, and God was there, and the love was there, and it was wonderful. And we go, okay, I have to go pay some bills now. I have to go do laundry. We have guidance all around us that points to an existence where we are perfect. Where the Spirit I am, the Spirit Cindy is, the Spirit Patrick is, the Spirit each one of us is perfect. Yet what do? We come back to this place of matter. We come back to this place of matter, and we get caught in the matter, and we forget. We forget. Perhaps when you cross over, the only regret you ever have is that you didn't remember who you were. Maybe that's the only thing you regret. Rats. I didn't remember who I was. I am perfect. What would our world look like if we could really begin to embody the Spirit I am is already perfect? Who I am is expressing in matter. But the Spirit I am is already perfect. Doesn't that just take a load off your mind? And doesn't that make you want to do on the earth plane? Doesn't that make you want to express on the earth plane? You know, so many of us get guidance. We get guidance, write a song. You know, write this, write a play. Go say hi, go do something, reach out. I don't know what your guidance is. And you deny yourself that expression. Why? Because the world has not trained you to do it. No one ever taught me how to write a song. The first song I wrote that Spirit gave me, I sang it into a tape recorder. I gave it to Nan, and I said, Nan, put music under it, because this is how it came down. Find the notes, because I don't know notes. I don't have an instrument in my skill set, but I could hear and listen. And one of the first songs that came down, maybe not the first, is our offering song. And that was brought to Nan many years ago. Make this work, Nan. What is within us that could express, that doesn't need the world to have taught us how? You see? If I am perfect, then I chose this moment. If I am already perfect at some level, maybe I want to know that perfection as I move to create matter. And I am not trying to tell you that Jesus Christ only came to teach us that, because the lessons he brought were immense, immense. But I want you to think with me for a moment. What was he crucified for? Do you remember the sin he committed that allowed him to be crucified?
He was a child of God.
He said publicly, I am a child of God. And they said publicly, blasphemer. Blasphemer, you have blasphemed God. And then as Christianity evolved, we said, okay, all right, he might have been the Son of God. Okay, yeah, he was the Son of God. But he is the only Son of God. He is the only begotten of God. And that's how we've lived our beliefs. And even this day, you stood forth in our world in America today and said, I am child of God. I am son of God. And I seek to express that. A lot of Christendom would say to you, how dare you place yourself equal to Jesus Christ? You are not. And if you embody that, you never will be. But what was his message to us? Follow me. Follow me. Do what I do. Find the love in your heart. And his teachings were not just go sit and pray and meditate all day. His teachings were love God and act like you love God. Love God and change your behavior. And be ye perfect, even as your Father which in heaven is perfect. You're perfect. You're children of God. Be that love and express that love. If we could take that one thought of perfection, not as something we have to strive to become, but something that we are seeking to realize. Think with me, if you began every moment saying, even if you say it with gritted teeth and very little faith, and you just said, okay, I'm choosing to be perfect. I am choosing to experience and to remember my spirit is perfect. You open your eyes, how much more patience will flow through you? How much more understanding? How much more acceptance of others? You'll look at someone and you'll think in your mind, oh, they're perfect, they just forgot. Instead of, what an idiot. Do you see potential for change?